For the final time on my stint as SSRL commentator, good morning, good afternoon, or good evening. Welcome on in to the final race in Season 7. We are in Division 2 for tonight, and it is now the final race. Tonight, we have a three-driver title decider between Quincy, Energetic, and Pleasant Snake. Which way is it going to go? All three drivers separated by 13 points. We'll go through the specifics in a few moments' time. But first and foremost, we do need to go through one little thing, because we need to spin the wheel and decide what track is going to be on for tonight. In case you don't know, this is a mystery Grand Prix round. And well, tonight, I get to spin the wheel and decide where we race tonight. Here is the wheel. Where is it gonna go? Let's find out. 3, 2, 1. We are going to Albert Park. It is Australia that's taken the go for tonight. So that means the lobby will be set up, and it is a one-session qualifying for 18 minutes around the Albert Park circuit, and then a half-distance Grand Prix. So that is where we are going, where F1 traditionally opened up back in the late 2000s, and of course has faced a few adjustments since. So the lobby is being set up, but I am not in it at the moment because I'm a divvy. So I will join in just a few moments' time. And thank you for the hydrate, the real blitz. But at the moment, I will just need to delay that for a few moments. But let's go and introduce our co-commentator. Well, Season 1 and Season 7 champion, a roller coaster of emotions in post-race controversy that even Quincy's wife got second-hand embarrassment from. Your champion from Division 1, Harmon the German. How are you doing?
First off, you need to come into the lobby, I think.
Yes, I know. I'm trying.
Okay. I was panicking for a second there. Obviously, very interesting 24 hours. And also very welcome to this grand finale of another freeway fight. And obviously also your farewell commentary for what will be a while now, and we will be looking forward to see what these drivers, especially at the top, can bring to this track. Very difficult to pass, very difficult to follow at some stages, especially if you actually want to get by. You're probably running as low as seemingly possible wings. And if there's another rain chaos, people will know, don't pit, just go inters and continue for 29 laps. So interesting to see. I have no idea what driver is more suitable for this track, and I don't believe for a second that Quincy, even if he hates this track, is gonna be on the back foot here. Only the points currently look like tell the story that he has the most to do, but everything can happen, and this is somewhat of a street track, so crashes, safety cars, whatever can happen so fast. 17 drivers, excuse me, are gonna make for an interesting showdown. And obviously, the Constructors' World Championship is also on the line between Mercedes and Ferrari as well. And I'm just looking forward to, go out there, enjoy it, and or finish off the season with a blast. Since it has been throughout the season so far as well. So looking forward to this, and obviously a quick run up before we head into the session. Our little prediction game is also very close, I have to say. Unfortunately, Qatar is out. I couldn't find my notes again. So I'm currently leading with 4 points, 54 to your 50. So
Okay.
I'm gonna make this now. We're gonna obviously predict the top 5 for the race again, but also the champion of this season. And then we're gonna make one extra prediction. But I'm gonna keep that secret from you.
Okay.
For now, we will talk about that when we're in the formation lab, but now we're 10 seconds away from starting this lobby. 18-minute qualifying session as per usual. It's going to be full wet conditions. I hope it's set up and will not be forgotten. Vegas. And we're going to move into a short break, roughly 5 minutes after that, and then it's a 50% race that will host our season finale for what is season 7 in Division 2.
And well, we forgot to go through a couple of things just before we started, so I'll just do that now. But here is your calendar. We have completed 11 of the 12 races. The final one, we know that is no longer a mystery. It is Albert Park to round out Season 7 in Division 2. Your standings coming in tonight, just to serve as a reminder, the drivers separated by 13 points. Energetic and Quincy must outscore Snake. Snake with the most wins this season. You cannot be even on points with him, or else any even points, well, he takes that position and would be champion if Quincy and Energetic fail to outscore him. Then it's Race Chase and Moksha battling for 4th position, with Trugster maybe given a chance if those two have a bit of a bad time of it. Then it's Salvi, Toby, ADS, then Tabran rounding out your top 10, then it's Tarkangino, Skid Solo, Kavachka, Quad, and Suribo rounding out your top 15, with Matt, Devsy, Falcon Warrior, Red Dog, and Bruiser rounding out your full-time drivers. Your reserves being Rowley, Danger David, Bavish, Cloudsan, and Vincenzo. And in your constructors, as Herman has already said, Ferrari and Mercedes separated by 3 points. Aston Martin need a 1-2, but considering Skid Solo's pace, that doesn't seem likely to happen, so I would say that they are more than likely out of contention. Pleasant Snake winning would not be enough. It would either go to Ferrari or Mercedes if that circumstance came along. But the battle for 4th would be a good attention grabber as well. Red Bull and Williams separated by 29 points, with Racing Bulls, Haas, McLaren, Alpine, and Kick Sauber rounding out your top 10 there. Well, your only 10 drivers in the Mercedes. We've already seen the spinny wheel. We now are in qualifying, and well, it's just got underway. And well, Herman, do you personally have any experience around this Albert Park circuit?
Yeah, we had that Season 6 Division 2 race where I was briefly in this category, because I recall the story, like, I was saying to Quincy, like, I don't know what's going on with the wheel and the feedback. I couldn't drive it, how it was when we kickstarted Season 6 with this year's game. And he felt like, okay, it was probably also for motivation, or I don't know what reasons, that he thought that it would be, without the field, was suitable for me to get back underway. But probably in hindsight, I would have preferred to stay in Division 1 and suffer there a bit and try to get better from there, and sort of like taking 2, I would say mostly unchallenged wins. I think at that stage we weren't really aware that the full wide tire isn't a particular used tire in this race. I've seen some races in the game before F1 24, but yeah, that was a very severe case of just stay out, don't pit, and then I won the race by 15 seconds or something. So very interesting, and tough track to do, especially when you prepare for what is mostly dry races. And I did some adjustments to the level of wings, but it was still on the lower end, and discussed that also further with people like Quincy. So tough track. Also, fronts were not warming up for whatever reason, and yeah, turning in wasn't great. But it's sort of a flow state you get in because this track has more of a flow than to the compared to the previous iteration we ran in up into 21. That was so. Even with the temporary state of this obviously being usually a street where normal road cars drive on, you kind of feel the amount of or the lack of grip at some stages, and obviously a dry qualifying session the rubber gets washed out, and then it's tough on braking especially. There's like pretty punishing gravel traps at the end of the straights. And obviously into that high-speed chicane. If you mess up the turning, it's a warning, or you're off track anyway, and then you run over a very abrasive curb on the exit. So yeah, lots and lots to to be aware of, and try to find the sweet spot as soon as you get underway. And yeah, most interesting is obviously going to be if and how you can break slipstream. If this is a dry race later on. So if not, passing is gonna be pretty tough because of dirty air still in the rain. And even with, you can obviously break away faster from guys who cannot keep up. And that end of second sector, the end of the first sector, is gonna be most important in order to get away. So clean pass, get away, don't fight, and then you might have a chance of breaking the toe. And we're currently watching the end of Truckster's lap, who's currently out in that very beautiful Honda livery from earlier on in this year. And he will be posting our first lap time with 13.5 minutes to go. And that's a 33.5. I have unfortunately no idea what times we're going to be seeing, as this track also was not run yesterday, as we probably discussed already, where both of the wheels were spun, obviously, and the random factor pulled up Great Britain yesterday and Australia for today. Yeah, let's see what the rest can do. And Toby's over the line, early behind his teammate by over 2 seconds.
We're now waiting for Tabran to cross the line. A few drivers ahead of it, but Tabran very wide as he goes through turn number 14 there. A total of 16 turns here in this adjusted Albert Park circuit. Wasn't visited when COVID was around, but then came back on the calendar in 2022 in this new configuration. Of course, the sweeping turns of 8, 9, and 10 used to go to a chicane there, which went right and left. Tabran gets himself up into second place here, and at the moment now is a 134.8. But Trugster has really been going from strength to strength. I do believe he will be one to watch out for next season in Division 1, because even in the few races that he has ran, he has certainly been very, very quick in his own little right. And of course, if you remember, all the way back to Season 3, Trugster was famous for accumulating these track limit violations, 3 seconds. It wasn't unusual to see about between 20 to 15 seconds, but now he's really clamped on it and is now going fastest yet again. He improves on his fastest time. That's a 1:33.301 now, only a few thousandths up there, but either way, it is great to see Trugster since those days back in Season 3 really just working on his track limits, and it's been absolutely amazing to see. We also actually have a new driver here, Herman. It's F. Tronk. Did you know about him at all?
I think he was racing in at the end of Season 1 and a bit of 2, so yeah, it has been some time. Like, I know you've been here from like Singapore Season 2, Race 2, so I don't fault you for not remembering. I'm not too sure what or why he stopped playing, but I was I would say in terms of pace to what to expect, so I don't think he's gonna be throwing spanner in the works. I assume would be around Ibo, Meldrum, and Schizzolo in terms of pace. Won't be playing a huge part in terms of the higher points standings, or maybe throwing that one curveball in between our top 3 contenders for the championship, as they are currently all line astern. second, third, and fourth after these first couple of runs, as a brief yellow flag there for a stricken Meldrum inside of the fifth turn, and then there's a Aston Martin of Snake to let that one McLaren by. So yeah, hasn't been racing or didn't race with us for some time now, I think. And even though I think at max he was a reserve driver, and there's a stand-in Jamaican Jam as you can see. So he needs to get moving, but there's no one from behind, so it should be an easy rejoin of the track, and he should be going. Again and in a safe manner. So yeah, nothing major to expect. Obviously would be interesting to see if that could influence maybe ADS position or Tak and Gino if there's like a particularly bad race in the sense that something goes wrong for one of them, as they are both obviously the second part to what is going to be our constructors fight, as Quincy is now over energetic into first position by half a second, who also took a first ever Division 1 pole position last night. Very good pace, but obviously wrong track for today, so I think it would take another pole back-to-back days to help him on a charge to maybe get the better of energetic and Snake as well.
Just to kind of go into the championship occasion for tonight, for those that have just joined, welcome on into SSRL. You are watching the final race of Division 2. We had the finale of Division 1 where our co-commentator took the championship after a emotional roller coaster of a post-race interview. Telling you that for free. If you want to, I'm not going to go through it all here. You can watch that back on the channel. It should be under the recent broadcasts videos on my channel there, but you can entertain yourselves with that maybe after this race, once this has all come to its conclusion. But Quincy starting with 13 points to Snake, and Energetic only 6 points to Snake. Now, a Pleasant Snake, if he gets P2 or P1, he is champion whatever happens. So Pleasant Snake, that's where he needs to be better safe than sorry. If he is P3 and Snake is P1, if Energetic is P1 and then Snake is P3, that would mean Energetic would be champion. But of course, I think either of the three drivers really would look to win. But now you look to Quincy as well, 13 points. So if Quincy wins the Grand Prix, he needs Snake to be P5 or less, and for Energetic, P3 or less, as he is 7 points behind Energetic. He needs to outscore him. So that's the situations coming into tonight. And, well, we'll see who is out on top. But Quincy, on the timing to boards, is currently with a 1:32.1 on provisional pole position. We have still got another 7.5 minutes, and we are seeing Trugster on the end of his flying lap. He has been going from strength to strength, as we said earlier on in this broadcast, and he's coming to the end of his lap now. Through turns 15 and 16, he goes through the corners, which would be a lot faster in the drive, but of course, look at how unsure. Oh, and he hits the barrier there. That is rather unfortunate, as he shakes left and right to show his disapproval. He does improve by half a second, so he goes into the 132s, the third driver to do so, beg your pardon. But no positional improvement for him, and, well, Snake at the moment remains P4, but at the moment, with under 7 minutes to go, hard to say where this is going to go. Hammer, what do you expect in these final few moments? Obviously, we're going to see drivers go hell for leather, but what about the track conditions? How does that improve in the wet?
Yeah, there's usually a form of a drier line in there, but that is only referring to that you could technically run the inters if you would consistently stay on that line. So, as I've just noticed, Meldrum and Schizzolo have been switching to the inters and going out. So I think they accidentally accepted the suggestion by the game that if you would select full wet tires and then try to go out, the game would say you're on the wrong tire, and then you can select ignore or go to track, or actually accept that prompt basically, and you are not allowed to set a lap time. You need to go in after the outlap again, and to keep what we have had of the full wet qualifying format throughout the season as our gimmick for this season. So yeah, there's gonna be more water cleared, especially as these tires are obviously the ones to clear standing water, especially. And you can see that a bit where you're currently spectating roll leaders, like this somewhat darker area, and that is usually indicating where the track is basically visible again under the water that is standing on the track. So I think more than a second should be still in with 5 minutes to go, and we are probably looking at 31s for sure, maybe even 30s, high 30s. So I can see that, especially if you do 2 stints, you will be seeing drivers go out to the track, have the maximum fuel to do the rest of the session, and if they want to, then obviously they can change to a tire, but they don't really want to, in a sense, to like stay in the rhythm and make sure that they find the best of it. But if they, for example, see, oh, this timing with the fuel, for example, isn't great, then just go in again, use a fresher tire, and have less fuel to make sure when you come out on the track you have enough. So that's the most important thing. 4.5 minutes to go. Quincy and Energetic as well as Truckster are out on track for officially hot laps. Let's see if they prep these tires, because I remember from yesterday, they were not in the working range.
Someone's in
after
trouble.
the first sector.
Sorry, someone's in trouble. Skid Solo on intermediate tyres there. So he's got to come straight into the pits and get those replaced. If someone can give Skid Solo the memo, please, then that would be nice, because he is about to influence qualifying in perhaps the worst possible way that we do not want. Of course, he would serve a post-race penalty and a qualifying ban going into the next season. So somebody might want to let him know as soon as possible, so that he does not get that. But at the moment, we look at Quincy now. 3.5 minutes just over to go. Caution in Sector 1 for slow-moving vehicles. Just so you all know, you can actually go pedal to the metal here as actually, Quincy's just not on a flying lap at all. He's actually just gone slowest by over 2 seconds. Oh, Race Chase has just gone to pole, but remember, this is all provisional still. There's still flying laps to come in, but either way, as I've been saying, the American has gone from strength to strength, race to race, and now he is really proving his worth in these wet conditions. Energetic has just started what will be his second to last flying lap, potentially, if he can get the car round in the nick of time for 2 whole laps. This will be his flyer. This might be his last push at going fastest there. Let's go on board with the Mercedes driver as he approaches down into turn 3. Turn 4 won't be too long after that. He doesn't want to ride that sausage curve, I can tell you that for free. But either way, he continues on with a bit of a scare there from one of the Red Bulls, still looking like they want to visit their alien overlords. But Energetic, unfazed by that, he continues on, now going into the sweeping turn of 6, but a bit wide there, missing the apex. Hopefully he can get something on the exit here. Now it's 7. Oh, but look at him losing the rear end, trying to keep it in control. The car wants to go left, he wants to go right, and the car won that battle. He backs out of it and says, I'm gonna go again. But either way, a bit of a shock there, as now Pleasant Sake down in 7th place. That's not where he'd want to be, with Quincy and Energetic so close behind. This is really a pressure cooker lap, so let's see if the Aston Martin can do any better. Yellow flag for a slow-moving vehicle again. 0.8 of a second up on this lap. It's a 1:33.6 so far. This will get him into the 1:32s. That would get him into 4th place, but that still leaves him in a bit of trouble if Energetic finds an improvement on this lap. He's going through the sweeping turns of 10, then 11 and 12. Won't be too far away. Here we go. There's a car in front, though, and the McLaren has not done a good enough job, and Pleasant Snake's lap is absolutely ruined. And now Snake on the back foot, Herman, in these final couple of minutes.
Yeah, he can abort, but I don't think he is good with the ERS for now. So I think he is still need to finish that lap if there's anything to go by. 8 tenths, I don't think is lost that much there, but if he can find like a tenth or 2 now would obviously help him, but he's pushing the car really hard. Yes, he has no lap after this, so he can't recharge on this lap now and go again. Let's see. 1 second faster even with that impediment, but there's only this track evolution now because the battery is very low, 25%. He obviously used that on his flyer before, so yeah, there's gonna be A very difficult task for Snake, and he's 5 tenths down as Truckstar levels it out even more, and we're very close to that 30, high 30 mark of times now with 35 seconds to go. So Snake is on the brink of maybe losing out to the guys in front, with ADS also third. Great lap so far from him in the championship fight with his team, and he's currently in the front of the third place driver in the Drivers' Championship. So very well done so far from ADS.
And at the moment, it is really a tale of two halves here with Energetic and Quincy. Energetic was faster in Sector 1 by a couple of tenths, but Quincy in Sector 2 faster by a tenth. So it's all going to be in Sector 3 once this is decided. They've all gone faster than their personal bests, but who is going to be higher than the rest? They just both need to beat Pleasant Stake after a impeded lap from a McLaren. Energetic to the line, second place. Now we wait for Quincy as qualifying is concluded. No further laps can happen for any of the drivers finishing their flying lap. Quincy to the line, second place as well, but nobody beat...
Snake is off.
Snake
is off.
Yeah, he wasn't on a flyer. He wasn't on a flyer. He finished his because he was impeded, so he had to finish that lap. He had no ERS left to go, and qualifying was done. He had no lap to go. And then Moksha goes into 7th there. So now it is a case of who is improving around the track, and that is important for Pleasant Snake there. So let's have a look at Toby. Well, Toby has improved. He's done his lap. He's done. Trugster's also finished. We are waiting for the Haas of Salvi to reach the line now, but he's been way down on his personal best as well by over 7 tenths there. Here we go. Salvi pushing hard through the final corner. He is really pushing that car so hard it was going drifting through that corner. Can he do? No improvement there as expected. What about Rowley, who is improving but won't be really doing enough damage to anybody at the front? So I think Pleasant Snake has gotten away with that somehow. And, well, Pleasant Snake look on his side again, but we'll wait and see to look at the championship picture before the end of this. But there you go. Rowley across the line, down on his personal best. No way he could have improved on that, so he will start 15th as Sir Ibo and Meldrum with a disappointing qualifying. He couldn't get to grips with the car in these conditions, with the slowest time of them all, down in 17th at 150.9. But Trugster in pole position. Quincy on the front foot, you could argue. If he gets past Trugster into turn 1, well, then he would be the champion once the points are all decided, but it would have to stay that way for 29 laps. Your official results coming out of qualifying. It's Trugster on pole, Quincy second, Energetic third, then it's Race Chase and ADS rounding out your top 5, 6th to 10th, your championship leader, Pleasant Snake. Then it's Moksha, Tarkagino, Tabran, and Salvi. Then Toby, F. Tronk, don't think I'm saying that correctly. Skid Solo, though, with an illegitimate 13th there because he was on intermediates. Then it's Jamaican Jam and Rowley in 14th and 15th. Sir Ibo and Meldrum round out your 17 drivers. Herman, what's going to happen to Skid Solo?
Yeah, it looks probably like as we have seen with Andy, as he missed the timing for the one-shot full quali in Brazil, probably a disqualification after this event. So yeah, tough one. Yeah, you can go accidentally out on the Indus, but obviously don't complete that run as we have overcast conditions for now in Australia. We are gonna do our final prediction game for the final time set of this season. I'm currently leading by 4, and we're gonna start it off with me into the top 5. I'm gonna predict that Quincy takes this. I'm gonna say that Energetic goes to 2nd position. I think Snake 3rd. Truckster 4th, and I'm gonna say that ADS takes 5th, and that is also our second part of the prediction for the day. I'm gonna predict that Ferrari is gonna take the World Constructors Championship crown for this season. Remind me, what is needed for Snake if Quincy finished first? Is he still champion?
If Quincy finishes first, Pleasant Snake needs to be P5 or worse.
Okay, so with this prediction, Snake is my champion.
Okay, well, my prediction is going to be Energetic taking first. Quincy will stay second. Trugster down to 3rd. For me, Pleasant Snake will be 4th. And I'm actually going to give 5th to Moksha. Yeah, that's my prediction.
Okay, by the way, I'm changing ADS to race chase in 5th.
Okay.
So with your prediction, is Energetic then champion?
That would be
points?
correct. Yeah, I think he's going to do it tonight.
And what do you think, Mercedes or Ferrari?
Well, with ADS, it's going to be Ferrari. Oh, by the way, we've got a prediction in chat as well. Of course, chat, feel free to get involved with the predictions. Herman will make a note of, well, if he has time to make a note of your predictions.
I have, yeah.
Okay, brilliant. So, yes, whatever you think. Of course, don't be afraid to predict who's going to be champion and Constructors champion as well. Just to remind you guys who is in the fight for the championship for the drivers. That's Pleasant Snake, Energetic, and Quincy. I will bring up the standings right now for you. There you go. So, Pleasant Snake, 216. Energetic, 210. Quincy, 203. And so, those are your predictions there. And now, moving on to your Constructors championship. You realistically have, well, especially now Skid Solo will be facing disqualification for being on the wrong tyre during qualifying. It's realistically between Mercedes and, well, it is, no doubt about it, it's Mercedes and Ferrari in the championship fight now. There is no way that Skid Solo can make up those positions, regardless of what he does in the race. So, there you go, put your predictions in there, but we are going to go to the race feed. Ads have just come on, but there is more than enough time to get around the track for the formation lap and get those out of the way. But either way, that's a shame. But anyway, it's good to see an old timer here, F-Trunk there, qualifying outside of the top 10. But of course, we didn't really expect anything special from him. He starts 12th place there, an American apparently, but in the server he is down as a Spaniard. But either way, Herman.
Spaniard, yeah.
All right. But either way, this is going to be quite an epic finale, I would say. I think it's going to be maybe just as good as yesterday, if not better.
I would say even better because honestly, this was also a finale in a recent, like my league finished off with Australia as well, and it was on paper a one stop, but somehow a guy who was very far down made a two-stop work to finish in second. So honestly, there could be so much on the line if you want to risk it, as for example Quincy, to stay out and not fight the traffic. You could be in for a very, very interesting situation, and we have some split strategies already. But here's your final formation lap for SSRL Season 7.
Drugster starts on pole position, one of the 4 drivers on hard tyres. In second, it is the outside favourite here of Quincy, behind Pleasant Snake by 13 points. We'll go through the probabilities that need to come to fruition for Quincy to be champion in a second. Energetic in third, with Race Chase in fourth here. Watch out for him in the next season. He is one to look out for. Fifth is ADS here, just looking to help out his teammate here to bring the Ferrari Constructors, our favourite for tonight. Pleasant Snake, 13-point lead over Quincy, but a fragile 6-point lead over Energetic. He's not in the best position. He starts 6th place. Moksha in 7th in a fight for 4th with Race Chase, so not really the qualifying he would have wanted. Let's see what he can do. Tarkangino really just racing for his own sake. He starts 8th. Tubran trying to, well, overtake ADS. He starts 10th. He's not going to have an easy time of it. 9th even, beg your pardon. 10th is Salvi, whose form has been like a yo-yo all season, but hoping to end on a bang. Toby in 11th with F-Trunk here in 12th. He's just hoping to have a good first race back for what has been a few seasons. Skid Solo will be disqualified after this event because he did his qualifying lap on the intermediate tyres, but he's one of the 4 that starts on the hard. Then it's Jamaican Jam, Rolly in 15th there, Jamaican Jam 14th, Sir Ibo in 16th, and Meljum, who really didn't connect with the car in qualifying in those full wet conditions, he starts dead last in 17th and on those hard tyres. But anyway, for one last time, guys, let's go racing in SSRL Division 2. It is going to be Trunkster who leads the way, but Quincy just needs to grab the lead as soon as he can, and then he puts himself in the best possible spot. 29 laps at Albert Park. Here we come. The countdown. It will be in a few moments. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 red lights. It's go in Australia, and that is a good start there from Quincy, but Truxton was a bit better, and actually Skid Solo, I think, just got the memo. He's pulled off, but there's Quincy down the inside of Truxton, doing what he needs to do as early as possible. This is amazing stuff, and Quincy takes the lead of the Australian Grand Prix, and now Truxton needs to defend this if he wants to have any chance of a good result. Bit of contact with Energetic, but he's got through. Energetic is through, and he's done what he needs to do. So now Quincy in a spot of bother. This might mean that Energetic might be champion, but we'll calculate the points in just a second. Pleasant Snake has not moved anywhere, and ADS might be the perfect doorstop that Quincy needs to take this home. Remember, Pleasant Snake cannot finish P5 if he doesn't want Quincy to be champion, but Quincy would have wanted Energetic to have been in third there. So we'll see what happens. But either way, Herman, what a start.
Yeah, Pleasant Snake is directly on the gearbox of ADS as Tarkidino runs wide, loses a position to Moksha. Could be troublesome further down the line if Energetic takes first. That is obviously already the gap between the two constructors who are fighting for the crown inside of the season with 3 points. You gain 5 if you win over your rival, as Snake is now trying to get on and around the outside, but that isn't possible at that stage with too much dirty air. And also onto this part of the track, you need to be very careful with your throttle application. He was very cautious into turn 1, as most of the action was ahead of him and no one was really around him, so no pressure. And we have seen some very troublesome starts from Snake inside of the season, especially Qatar, but he has avoided that to go down the line, go down the order early on in this race. It hasn't happened for him, so currently he needs to make sure his tires are in tip-top shape. He is keeping up with the train in order to gap the drivers behind and then be ready to pounce on undercuts or making sure the right strategy calls, as this can be influenced by virtual race control with the safety car VSC. Very fast. This track is unforgiving with all of these walls. Let's see what he can do, as Quincy is now down into second position.
Wait a minute, it's not over yet, because Energetic there, well, he wasn't exactly through. Quincy did not give that up because he knows there's a championship on the line, and now Truxton's going to fight that back, but nowhere to go as they go into turn 13. This has been a great start to the Grand Prix. Lap 2 out of 29. We're about to go on to lap 3 in the next few moments. Bit of overtaking up and down the field. F-Trunk defending from Jamaican Jam there as he holds on to 11th, lost 10th to Rowley a few moments ago. But now the, of course, driver were from way back when Herman took his first championship back in season 1. Well, a lot of fun memories, I hope, for F-Trunk anyway. But oh my goodness me, Energetic wide on the exit of turn 1, and Trunkster goes through, as does Race Chase. They're going to go side by side into the next corner. Pleasant Snake would have wanted to have been there, but he wasn't. He's already over a second to ADS, and remember, he's on the same tyre. As although Herman said Pleasant Snake wouldn't have wanted to have fallen through the field, well, that's exactly what's happened, as now Jamaican Jam's had a moment. My goodness me, we saw Meldrum have a moment on the last lap as well, but no virtual race control, no intervention from virtual race control, beg your pardon. And at the moment now, things just calming down for another few moments. But then we have a question in chat. And at the moment, yeah, well, there we go. Yeah, so Herman has answered that already. Thank you very much, my guy. And now, Chuckster,
no problem.
As Turan retires. And there we go. Toby also making a move for 11th place there. But I really want to see what Truxter was able to get up to. Absolutely nothing. But at the moment, with everything as it stands right now, can you believe this? But wait a moment. I was going to say something, and now ADS has got made a mistake. And now Pleasant Snake is in 5th place. Now, just to remind you, if Quincy was to win the championship this evening, at the moment, he does take it. He will take it, because Energetic needs to be P2 or better. If he finishes P3 or where he is P4, that's it. He is not champion at all. So Energetic with a bit of work to do, and the top 3 have been dropped off. So Quincy has done what he needs to do, and now Energetic...
Moksha, Pleasant Snake! What a late move by the German, but he has fended that off brilliantly. The Norwegian was very late on the brakes himself, but Moksha was very late as well, and they almost made major contact going into the gravel trap of turn 3. Huge moment as they've both now lost the ass to Energetic.
Goodness me, I jumped out of my bleeding skin there.
Sorry.
No apology needed at all. It's great action regardless, but Moksha there, I just caught the late end of it. I didn't quite grasp what I was seeing, but Herman was way more alert than I was, and I think Pleasant Snake has suffered again as they go through turns 11 and 12, and Pleasant Snake aggressive on the defense as Truckster and Quincy have also gone side by side with one another. Things are changing moment by moment, and here's Race Chase as well. Remember, if these four stop... Wait, and Energetic's back in the gap. So did Quincy. My word! Things are changing in this early moments, and now Pleasant Snake might be gifted an invitation into this battle. There he is at the bottom of your frame there, which you saw on the overhead. And now going into turn 1, it is really, really kicking off. Herman, this has been an exciting first 5 laps.
Yeah, and we're probably gonna see, if anything, if people want to throw a spanner in the works, a 2-stop very soon as well. The tires are very, very hard to take into late into the race, and if you're pushing like these guys at the front are currently doing, and you can't allow yourself to fall back, save some tires, if you are not really in the DRS window comfortably, and there's like 4 DRS zones, but it's only 2 detection points, so you need to get them right at every time. And there's now a close chase now from Race Chase currently in third, but I don't think he's going to attempt that on this one. No, he's staying back from Truckster, saving that battery. You can see that from the blinking rear red light on the cars that they're saving their energy, and they're in a none in terms of the deployment mode as Moksha is now by on Pleasant Snake.
Well, I think Pleasant Snake made a mistake through that corner of 11 and 12. That's where he's been struggling when I've been looking at him just from an outsider's point of view. So now Pleasant Snake in a bit of trouble yet again. He's got a doorstop between him and the position that he needs. Remember, Pleasant Snake needs to be P4 or better to take it away, because once
Tarkangino spawn.
Tarkangino has spun. Doesn't really affect anything in all honesty, but he's back underway. 10th place for him. Was trying to kind of was in a race of his own more than anything. And now Trunk is going to have a look at this. Down the inside maybe of turn 1? No, because Tarkangino had DRS there, and well, he'll have DRS again. So remember, into turns 1 and then on the exit into turn 3, those 2 straights have 1 activation point, which is just before the final couple of corners of 15 and 16. So that is why you will see 2 spurts of DRS for the same car. And well, that is why, because 1 detection point for 2 activation zones. As now Pleasant Snake has caught back up to the top 5 here. So after that mistake there, he has sort of found a way in again, but needs to kind of nail the next couple of turns here. Let's just have a look and you'll see what he's struggling with here. Yeah, there was a lot of understeer in the first part of that corner, but ADS had it worse. He lost time through that section of corners as well by about a 10th. And now Pleasant Snake still over a second as he hopes to bring that down into the next DRS zone. But either way, well, Herman, Quincy, I remember Quincy saying last week, he was absolutely defeated, but now it's going in his favor in these first 6 laps. Don't get me wrong, early in the race still, but what a way this has gone.
Yeah, very important qualifying to get himself into a position where he could take the more favorable line into turn 1, as this is a right-hand side turn, and he started on the right-hand side. There's another spin that is Meldrum coming out of the pit lane, but currently no imminent danger to what the proceedings have been. And obviously, we have now seen the hard tire obviously come more into his life. Truckster is not forced to use so much of his tire, and is easily possible, or it's easily possible for him to overpace the medium tire very soon. If he, for example, saved a bunch of ERS, then got by easily, and then tried to push away, he could easily do so, because the medium tire wouldn't really work with how old it is already. You obviously, as I said before, can try to prolong its lifespan, but these guys have been going at it at the front especially already. I've only seen Race Chase like be in the train when gaps open up. Energetic obviously swapping out there. Now Moksha is pulling Snake along, and the gap after that is over 3 seconds already. So if anything, we could see that the top 6 are maybe on different strategies soon. I expect the first guy come in at the end of the next lap if they want to change to a different tire, and they obviously would have to go through traffic, and in the other case try to survive the very crueling dirty airs. Another spin by Tarkangino at the exit of the penultimate turn, and he comes into the pit lane. This is still somewhat relevant, but obviously now decreased chances for the Mercedes team as Energetic is behind. Quincy and ADS is in front of Takagino as well. So that's definitely 2-star for the Mercedes coming. And let's see if he can find his rhythm back. As the top 6 have stayed the same with extended gaps and just a secondary fight with ADS being pulled along on Pleasant Snake. You see Race Chase kind of close there, but is keeping to himself with that attempt there. Possibly one of the trickier overtaking spots, turn 1. And this high-speed section is very easy to get wrong when side by side. Turn 3 and this turn 11, more suitable to actually have an attempt if you fancy one. And let's see if there's anyone who jumps the gun here in the next couple of times we get around the track. Not this time, so they're fairly comfortable with going longer as of right now. Trackster's closing in on Quincy ahead, but that is just staying behind there, and that obviously extended boost of the slipstream and the DRS, which is not available to Quincy as of right now.
And there we go. Truckster unable to do anything with it, but the next DRS zone is where he'll be dangerous. Quincy very wide there, though. Those medium tyres have definitely gone. Takagino has crashed out. Safety car, or is it a VSC? Hang on a moment. We'll need to see in the next few moments. A VSC. Yeah, VSC deployed indeed. Thank you, Herman. And now Jamaican Jam timing his pit stop to perfection there. Will be losing little time as now he is out of his pit box and has gone on to hard tyres. I don't think he can go to the end on those. It would be 21 laps, so yeah, no, he would need to pit again for another set of tyres, whether that's the medium or the softs, that's up to him. But of course there. So a couple of drivers already have made their stops. One had made their stop, but now, well, 2 had made their stop, but they have since retired for issues here. Of course, one of them being Tarkangino now. So Mercedes now on the back foot in terms of the constructors. It just seemed to be all pretty much safe and sound for Ferrari at this point, but that is, of course, if ADS stays in this. That's all he really needs to do. Remember, the top 15 do score points. And just as a little reminder as well, to serve as Tronk gets a drive-through penalty for speeding under VSC conditions. So
Pleasant Snake has a drive-through penalty!
Oh my
Pleasant
goodness.
Snake has a drive-through penalty as the current championship leader in 6th position. Too eager on the throttle with the data. And now that's an extra drive through the pit lane as energetic. It's also a 3-second time penalty. Major changes inside of this race now, Dave. You can't make this up! Who is releasing the script? How is this happening?
Quincy was, at the end of last week, absolutely defeated. He thought it was over, and now a whole bunch of lifelines have just come his way. As well, we already know the penalties that have come the relevant way, but Energetic in trouble. Pleasant Snake needs a safety car. No, he can't have it at this point because then you can't serve your drive-through.
Yeah, later.
Yeah, he would need a safety car later in the race, not right now. And if there is a safety car, I would say that's Pleasant Snake out of this championship. And remember, Pleasant Snake was the long favourite for over half of the season. And at the moment, now, after dominating the entire season for so long, that round in Qatar has really set the tone. I mean, you know, there's other rounds here and there, but that one in Qatar was really the one that's really been a representation of the second half. And yes, he's in now, Herman.
Yeah, that's obviously very... ADS has crashed it. And there's a safety car at the wrong time.
Oh, well, Pleasant Snake timed that to absolute perfection.
Yeah. Oh my god, if you... Like 5 seconds later, his race would have been over.
Exactly.
Oh my god.
Oh.
And both of the constructors championship teams have lost one driver. So whoever finishes in front wins the constructors title, especially with Ferrari leading by 3 points. So Energetic needs at least another driver between himself and Quincy. So that is now more. That's troublesome to do in terms of the tire length. So we could see drivers trying to go to the hards now, trying to extend and maybe have punctures, because 11 is early, I would say. Yeah, could be doable. I think the one-stop strategy is around 13. So yeah, that's gonna be That's gonna be interesting. So if you can keep your tires alive, that's good. I just wanted to say that Snake had that old tire now, couldn't stay with the DS train on that lap, and had that drive-through penalty. So also sped under the VSC, and then obviously didn't have the tire ready to continue to push and stay within that now, and obviously needs to come into. Also, Truckster and Moksha are kind of out now because they need to pit for sure again because they are on the hards, and this tire strategy doesn't work with the safety car now. They're gonna be at least running double mediums or second hard further down the line, but if they have, obviously. But this is now basically Quincy energetic and race chase for top 3 with Snake going down the order as soon as well. Again, I think.
Absolutely. Snake into the pits right now. Just about everybody behind him, barring Salvi, have made a stop there. So we'll see what happens once he comes out of the pit. Once he comes out of the pit lane, he is going to be. It's actually going to be in front of Salvi because Salvi's just gone into the pit lane. Hard tires for Snake now to the end of this race, but his race has arguably been saved. Now remember, for Snake to be champion, it needed to be P2 or P1, and it wouldn't have mattered where anybody finished. But now he has got some relying to do on what happens around him. Of course, if he's P5, then it doesn't matter. No, if he's P4 or better with Quincy wins, it doesn't matter. He would be champion in that regard. But then we just need to see where Energetic finishes, because if Energetic outscores Snake by 7 or more points, Energetic would be champion. Now, if you want to look at that, P4 to P2 is a 7-point deficit. So Energetic would now need to be P2, but with that post-race 3-second penalty, that's going to be awfully difficult, especially in a DRS train heavy circuit like this one. Pleasant Snake catching up to the back of the pack now. I don't know where this is going to go, Herman. I really have no idea.
You can argue that obviously, like, as I said, 5 seconds later, Snake comes or wants to go in like one extra lap and then do the pit stop, then it's over. Like, he would have needed to serve drive-through and then still stop, or because if he goes into the pits under safety car, that was the only reasonable thing to do. He would do a pit stop and be on the fresh tire he needs for the next stint, which he has now obviously done under the normal safety conditions. You can argue that this is not only Snake's lifesaver, but also, like, in a sense, more death bringing basically to Energetic, because pace looked good, early mess up forced him to 4th. Truckster and Moksha are basically out of this because they need to pit again if no safety car. So if that doesn't come before they pit again, and this medium is not going to be lasting very long, so I expect him to come in at like maybe lap 21 again. If that isn't happening, Snake has 2 less positions to worry about, and also probably gains the position from Energetic. So if anything, Quincy has now doubled the trouble basically, because he has 2 drivers, or especially Truckster now, who's going to be in a faster tire for a moment, could cause, if they fight too much, some havoc. This is like, we still have some drivers in this race where if they push it too hard, and they could obviously bring safety cars back out onto the track. But these safety cars brought Snake back, has dropped down Energetic's chances as well, and made Quincy's life a bit more difficult, because he was keeping fairly decent with Truckster at the front, and he wasn't trying to use the hard tire overcut in terms of pace after like lap 6 or so. He was happy to stay behind. And now we have kind of the situation where Truckster has to get by, push at least a 5-second window out, pit again, and then maybe, because these tires are going to be suffering at the end. And as I said before, I don't think any of the top 6, with now Rolly even being there in between because of this extra trip to the pit lane from Snake, there's going to be so much more pushing probably needed in order to have a somewhat acceptable gap, and especially Energetic needs to find something, because he also has someone behind that is on a medium tire. So basically, somehow the safety car has saved Snake massively, not only for his own race, but also lowered the chances by making it more difficult for the drivers who he's fighting with. So But being in the traffic still can be a risk, but this is played out rather beautifully for Snake in a sense that, yeah, was really bad. Now it's kind of back to okay and normal, but yeah, he's obviously in need to make these tires work and make sure no penalties, no drama, just keep it on the black stuff and you're good to go.
Absolutely, and well, we're surely going to be seeing the end of the safety car on this lap. It will be back underway on lap 15, and there will be 15 laps to go, so we'll be back underway. Slap bang just about on the halfway point. And, well, at the moment, if things stay as they are right now, Quincy is champion. But, of course, there's still pit stops to come from, as we said, Moksha and Trugster, because they started on the hards. But now, due to the safety car, their strategy has been ruined. So, forced onto the 2-stop here. And that, if that is to, well, do anything, well, if... Oh, it's tricky to say here. I'm not going to make any predictions. Safety car has been called in, so Quincy will take control of the field. And once the safety car is in the pit lane, it'll be up to him when he goes, let's go on board, listen to that Ferrari engine as Quincy gets us back underway on lap 15 out of 29. And he got through on the final corner there, and he gets back underway. I think that was actually quite well done from Quincy, because now Race Chase is putting Trugster under pressure. Energetic going to the, well, looking at the inside there, more just saying, I am here, my guy, and I'm ready to take any advantage. But now we are back under racing conditions and the lap we predicted. And now, just to kind of remind you, in case you have just joined us, well, you've just missed a very crucial safety car. Quincy right there as he went through turn number 3 there. But keeping everybody behind. He might be doing that as a deliberate line, but I'm not too sure. It's certainly leaving him vulnerable. Trugster on those mediums, so fresh mediums, I must say, as he got them under his pit stop, under safety car conditions. And right now, he is just trying to keep... well, Quincy's just trying to keep everyone behind, but he's going to be under massive pressure. No DRS this lap, so it's one less thing for Quincy to worry about. It will be the next lap when things get a little serious. But at the moment, no one moving. But wait, we do have... Oh, I thought we were going to see Pleasant Slate go down the inside. He's being held up by Rowley, which is more of a favour to Quincy than anything. 1.5 seconds between the top 5. Pleasant Slate won't be enjoying that. Tries to think about it down the inside of the final couple of turns, but nothing doing there. But Quincy, this is a bit awful for Pleasant Slate at the moment. He's being held up.
Yeah, there's somewhat of a sense of urgency now, but to be honest, he just needs to be aware that don't shred your tires behind Rolly now and just keep it a bit safe, because, as I said before, 2 guys in front will be losing out, and then it's, yeah, more possible to do something later on. So he needs to think about the long game.
Absolutely, and now DRS activated on this lap. And Trugster is only 3.5 tenths behind Quincy. But remember, Trugster, if there is no further safety car, is forced into another stop. But then as soon as we say that, Cerebro's had a moment going through turn 2, but nothing really doing there. He will get back underway sooner rather than later. No intervention from race control required. And now we go back to our lead battle for this race. Lap 16 out of 29. 14 laps to go. Still a twist in the tail somewhere. I can just feel it. But a Pleasant Snake in massive amounts of trouble, because he has, well, he dominated this season, as I said earlier on, and now at the final race, it's all falling apart for him. Had a drive-through penalty, which he served in the nick of time. If it had been 5 seconds earlier, as Herman said, it would have been game over for Snake, but he is actually still in this. But now, Pleasant Snake has dropped off the back of Rowley as well. It doesn't look like Snake is in any kind of hurry, as Jamaican Jam goes overtaking for 11th place there. But remember, Skid Solo will be disqualified at the end of this race, because he set a lap on intermediate tires when the rules stated it needed to be on full wets. But here we go, couple of changes might be happening, but Trugster not going to do anything with it. He stays behind Quincy and keeps second place for the time being. So Trugster playing a very interesting game here. I wonder if he's helping out Quincy a little bit here by just keeping being a doorstop to Energetic, Herman.
Yeah, there's one thing I can see. he needs to go into the pits anyway again at this rate, and if he can keep the tires a bit more alive, and as he's in the DRS train, he doesn't need to use them as much. He has them available there when he needs them, especially at the end of the first sector. And after that, he can kind of try to be there in the sense that he doesn't need to risk it now. He can obviously go if he wants to win that later on. So yeah, I can kind of see this tactic working right now, but there's still some laps out there where he needs to be pushing at the end, and yeah, that's going to be interesting. As Energetic takes to third position. Yeah, he's by on race chase. No fight back there for the American in the V car.
But at the moment, of course, Energetic serving a post-race 3-second penalty, so he actually needs to get through both Truckster and Quincy, because he then needs to get a 3-second gap on the cars behind. If he doesn't, that P3 position looks a lot less appealing. And now Truckster to the inside, taking the lead of the Australian Grand Prix here. And now Energetic not too far behind, but Quincy will know that he has a 3-second post-race penalty to serve. So let's see how this plays out for the final 12 laps. We just have no clue. As Herman said already, Truckster and Moksha more than likely out of it. They are forced onto a 2-stop after they started on the hard tyres and have now gone onto the mediums, which can't go to the end of this race, of course, unless if some divine intervention from the racing gods for Quincy came along. But we'll wait and see. Anything can happen in this silly season league, and it's called silly for a reason. We saw, you saw how extreme it could get last night. Herman really doesn't want that replayed too much. But either way, if you were here last night, you know how crazy things can get, and there's no reason to say it couldn't get even crazier yet again. But at the moment, it is still Quincy who, well, let's have a think. Well, let's calculate points towards the final few laps. I don't really know where this is going to go, but Pleasant Stake at the moment not really in a position to take the championship. He's in a bit of trouble, but we'll do some final calculations in the final few laps. Herman, we're starting lap 19 out of 29. Truckster leading.
Yeah, I think if anything, there could be a chance to extend one more lap maybe and then go onto another set of mediums. I have the feeling that the over race tire is still the hard, but there's a crash maybe at the back.
Meldrum facing the wrong way.
Brief yellow, but he can get underway, so there's no intervention there needed. As F-Tom gets a 3-second time penalty, Toby defends from Salvi what has been the unofficial best of the rest championship, as both of the Red Bulls running the white livery, which is very nice. Looking forward to this. And F-Tron gets by on Jamaican Jam for what is now currently P10, as the top of the field makes its way onto what is the longest full throttle passage on this racetrack. And there might be an attack by Quincy here. And he's through on Truckster again, very crucial. Anything could happen in a moment's time. Some drivers at the back, noticeably Meldrum, struggling with this track and could be a thorn into what is the current story of this race. For now, there's an 18.5 second pit window or pit loss time projected. So if Truckster would be pitting now, he would come out behind Jamaican Jam and F-Trunk, who were fighting, and that would be obviously a hard task. And Moksha's in already. And that is going to be that early pit stop. And there's one additional point for Quincy now. Very important to note.
Yep.
Can be crucial at the end. And obviously, if you need...
Energetic's made a mistake!
Energetic!
Oh no! Energetic down to 6th, and now Pleasant Stake only needs one more position here, Herman.
Yeah, that was maybe the one he copied from himself in the first couple of laps. Went probably wide at turn 1, and now Moksha is out on P11, so that's where I also wanted to predict Truckster there before Energetic decided to make it even more difficult for him at the end of this race, as he's also not in the DRS train, with Truckster now retaking the lead of this race. And now it looks more promising now for Snake, as Truckster also still needs to pit. But Pleasant Stake is currently with Rowley, and he is playing a very crucial part right now in this race. And if anything or if anything has shown us so far in this race, this is far from over yet with 9.5 laps to go.
Absolutely, here will be, 9.5 laps to go, 9 at the line. And at the moment, Pleasant Stake has been gifted another freebie, and once Trugster pits as well, surely that's not too far away from happening, then we will see where things truly stand. But Energetic, of course, in a bit of trouble, and maybe not what Quincy would have wanted, considering Energetic also, as we must keep reminding you, has a post-race 3-second penalty, but the Constructors' Championship would still go to Ferrari. What is the gap between Snake and Quincy at the moment? I'm sure Herman will answer that in his own coded way. Don't know if that's some kind of Morse code there, but either way, for those of you not watching the chat there, who might be watching this on YouTube, we do have a Twitch chat, which we do watch along with, but obviously, this one being my final one, you won't be able to see that again, I'm afraid. So, anyway, as we continue on now, onto lap 21 out of 29, at the moment, Quincy, will he take the lead? Yes, he will, so that would guarantee him champion, and also an extra point thanks to him having fastest lap, so it's going Quincy's way, but of course, as Herman must say, Drugster has another pit stop to come, and I'm surprised he's extending this long. He's doing very, very well so far. If he can pull this off, this would be a miracle for Quincy. But here we go. Pleasant Snake has caught up to the back of Rowley, and this will change everything. I can promise you that. If Pleasant State can make that move. But Energetic, not being too far behind there, won't get DRS on this go because he was behind a second at the detection point. So he's got 2 DRS zones with no DRS for 2 zones now. Snake will try, well, it's not going to have a go at the first zone with 22 out of 29 remaining. But now, as we go through the next corner, does Snake start to think about it again? No, I know he's not close enough yet again, and now Energetic is going to be thinking about this, but then remember, needing a 3-second gap as well, so we'll see how it all goes out, but either way, Energetic more or less helping Quincy as Energetic goes wide there. So remember, the more he goes wide, the more of warnings he will incur with virtual race control, and then another 3-second penalty will come his way, but the pressure's on Energetic now, and he just needs to be careful as Truckster takes the lead, Herman.
Yeah, speaking of warnings, I was checking if our contenders have been on warnings, and I spotted 2 warnings for Pleasant Snake. So very early on, he was already on 2 warnings, and he is not able to get another one if those stand. Obviously, could be a double warning. Sometimes it was on the same lap, and this game has been notorious for being very bad with track limits. Inside of the pit entry into Abu Dhabi, you can get time penalties, and there was a time where you couldn't race on Spain because you get 4 to 5 on 1 infringement over the track limit. So I'm glad we are not having this for tonight. So if anything, Snake could be in trouble down the line if he loses that position to Rowley, and if Energetic gets him on track, then he could get that obviously back as well. Trucks has still remained out, so if anything, this would be a late dash onto softs, but for now, I just see him go because the point of no return for either mediums or hard has already come, and Moksha, as yesterday, has once again taken the point away from anyone else who had that, and obviously this was currently with Quincy, so very crucial in terms of the championship as well, that additional extra point is currently not with any of the contenders. So yeah, I'm interested to see if Truckster can make this work. He obviously didn't push. As I said before, he was just swapping on the straights. That is nothing your tires really consider work. So you just need to be making sure you are gentle to them through these corners and behind someone that has dirty air as Meldrum has. And there's another 3-second to Energetic. And there's another yellow to Meldrum that is right in front of this pack of our leaders. But that is yeah, safely cleared, as he's got underway already. So yeah, the pack is through, and Snake has also gotten by on Rowley, who has lost the DS briefly. Let's see, yeah, that might be over for the Turkish Haas driver. And now let's see if there's a race chase coming to Truckster's second position soon as well, because I can't imagine that he's gonna be enjoying those yeah, kind of slow to medium speed corners at the exits of the last and the first turn. So yeah, this group has now extended its lead, but for now, yeah, we're 5.5 laps down before the end of the season, and before we crown the next champion. Yeah, what is the situation right now?
Well, at the moment, Pleasant Snake getting 4th place is champion elect, and he is at the forefront. But at the moment, of course, still a long way to go. And of course, as Herman said earlier, Pleasant Snake on 2 warnings. If he incurs another one, it would be game over. Going into P5, and Rolly isn't actually letting Snake go either. 0.6 of a second, but didn't activate DRS at that point. So I wonder if he has a problem with it. Moksha now up into 8th place, and well, Moksha could be no, Moksha's too far back to make any sort of impression here. So I'm going to forget about that one. Energetic out of the championship now, despite going into tonight with a 6-point gap to Snake. Now, with his 6-second post-race penalty for track limit violations, it's all over for him, you do feel. So now it is between Snake and Quincy, and Rolly holds the cards to whoever gets that. Snake isn't catching the top 3 at all. Quincy swapping with Trugster, and I am surprised. Trugster, based on the information we had, that Trugster's going out this long. But at the moment now, the heart is starting to race at the moment. This is not healthy if you have a heart condition, I can tell you that. But I promise you, it is going to be an entertaining end to this, whatever happens. Rolly holds the cards to Quincy or Snake's championship. It is up to him what he does. But Snake is starting to bring down that gap to the top 3. And maybe Rolly is getting a bit greedy and maybe saying, actually, you know what, Snake? I'll use your DRS, catch up to the top 3, and then I'll make my move. Either way, it's an entertaining game of chess right here, as Trugster has lost DRS to Quincy. So Quincy is starting to make his run to the hills as Race Chase goes into 2nd place here. That's not what Quincy would want, considering that they do not need to be fighting one another. But that's how far the mediums have gone now, and Trugster on a point of no return. And Moljam's crashed! Oh no! The Moljam's crashed it and he's retired! But are we not getting any intervention? No! We're getting nothing.
Like it.
We're getting no intervention, Herman.
That was a quick job by Devashit.
Yep.
The animation was barely done, and suddenly the cars. That is very surprising, I have to say.
Wow.
That was very surprising. At that part of the track, no intervention by VSC or safety car. Someone is biased here. I don't know where to, but no, Michael, this is not right. Let's see what that actually means now for the end. But this, safety car intervention would have been obviously nerve-wracking, as everyone would have probably enjoyed another pit stop. But then you also can say it's not enough. Just stay out. Some drivers may be behind. For example, Toby could pit, not lose, energetic pit, not lose position, and then just fight it and see what happens. But yeah, for now, we are good to go, and we're enjoying these last 4 laps without any safety car intervention. Still can be happening. If someone would crash it right now, then it could go out for 1 lap, and then we're good.
Here we go,
Snake on Dragster.
There you go.
Oh!
And Trugster gets a 3-second warning, and that's it. That
and
is
a slowdown, basically.
Yep, and I think that might be it for Quincy, but Rolly here is going to try again down the inside of turn 13 there, but no dice at the moment. Well, now Quincy needs a Christmas miracle, because we are going to go into the 3 laps to go margin, and no safety car or VSC will be deployed at that moment. So now he's got to hope that Pleasant Snake makes some sort of mistake, and well, pressure coming from Rolly, who has over 80% in his battery, and DRS to the Aston Martin driver in front, the championship leader coming in tonight. Anxious moments right now if you are a Quincy fan or a Ferrari fan. You're a-okay. Your constructors is currently safe, but either way, if there's a single mistake, there is energetic very wide there, and that has been the summary of his race, unfortunately. But at the moment, right now, it is going to be Snake, who is champion of the world, but with 3 laps to go, you just cannot place your bets anywhere. One mistake is all it'll take, and there's been an incident. There's been an incident in the background between Trunk and the McLaren of Jamaican Jam. Trunk missing half of his front wing, but no intervention called as expected. But now we go back to the battle for third, and Rolly looking to the inside there, still trying to get that podium place away from the championship leader. He doesn't care that Pleasant Snake was been the most dominant driver of the season. He wants something from this, Herman.
Yeah, and he has a very good, very good ES management. That was deep, and now he's lost the DS, so that was maybe a jinx, if I seen one. But yeah, Energetic is now closer to him than Rolly is close to Pleasant Snake. I think, if anything, we still could see some drivers who struggle to continue with these tires, especially if they push too hard. But yeah, Pleasant Snake can only lose it on his own now, because if these two warnings instead of the first couple of laps are there to stay, then he cannot concern himself with another one. He would lose that to Rolly currently, and that could be troublesome down the line. And yeah, we see that Traxxas is going for that soft now. That's probably the fastest lap point going his way, and we've seen that Moksha is now 11 seconds away from the top 5 group that has already been split up throughout the last couple of laps with now Race Chase in on for the win. Could be here's the revenge for the season 6 victory, whereas in my DMs telling me that he felt like he was one of the better races and couldn't execute on what was a rather I don't think anyone expected a 0 stop in that race, especially with my Inter start. So I think he wants that win, and he is certainly gonna try, as there's a Ibo off.
Yep.
Right in front of the group with Snake and Rolly. So be careful where you place the cars. And now the final lap has come. Here's Race Chase gonna try and take this away from Quincy. We will find out. Take it away, Dave.
Quincy has not got long to go. He needs a miracle from the racing gods. Pleasant Stake, with one mistake, could lose it for him. And there it is. There's that mistake we've been waiting for, but it's currently not enough. He's got a 3-second post-race penalty, but P4 would be enough. At the moment, the additional point has gone to Moksha last time I checked for the fastest lap, but let's just have a quick look. Yeah, Moksha with a 1:19.5 currently has that extra lap, but there, extra point, and then Trugster went and taken away with a 1:17. So now surely, well, Quincy's got a hope for another Pleasant Stake mistake, but in these circumstances, that is unlikely. Quincy has given it everything this evening. He has come oh so close. He beat Pleasant Stake on the final lap of the Miami Grand Prix. Every point was crucial, but he just didn't quite do enough. If he got second in Miami, it would have been enough. If he'd have got more in Qatar, it might have been enough. But at the moment now, it doesn't look like the racing gods can bring any more miracles to Quincy. He did everything, but he will hand over this championship to Pleasant Stake, who, of course, has dominated the first half of this season. It was a scary end to the second half, but, well, Quincy will win the Australian Grand Prix. Your new Division 2 champion is Pleasant Stake, as he won't be on the podium, but he will be the champion of Division 2 for Season 7. What a drive that was. What a race that was. It was lucky with that drive-through penalty, which could have decided everything if that safety car had been 5 seconds earlier, but it was on the nick of time for the Aston Martin driver, who will now go into next season, more than likely, in Division 1. From P5, it's energetic there. Heartbreak for him. Moksha in 6th, Toby in 7th, 8th, 9th, and 10th is respectively Salvi, Trugster, and Jamaican Jam. Jamaican Jam making his way to the line now. Tronk involved in an incident with the McLaren. We didn't quite catch that on the broadcast. He'll come home 11th place, whatever happens, because Skid Solo will be disqualified. So that means Sir Ibo will get another set of points. In fact, Tronk will get 10th place because of Jamaican Jam's post-race penalties there. But Skid Solo will be disqualified. Just to remind you, that is because despite the rule saying that you needed full wets to do qualifying, he went out on intermediate, so he will face a full disqualification.
Have we checked on post-race penalties before
I
do the
God,
interviews?
there weren't any. At least I don't think there were. Yeah, no post-race penalties, no shenanigans like last night to come.
No reports. It said for the Miami roundup. Yeah, great drive from obviously Quincy, as well as Race Chase has been continuously being on the up after what was a very strong Mexico GP, and after that we've continued to see him in the top 5. And he is also beating Moksha after he needed to do that extra stop in the fight for what has been 4th position. And yeah, we are seeing the accolades of Quincy taking cleanest driver and race winner with fastest lap going to Truckster right at the end, and Rolly and with most overtake. Drive of the day, and Moksha with most overtakes.
Your post-race results unofficially. Quincy, Race Chase, and Rolly rounding out your top 3, with Pleasant Stake and Energetic rounding out your top 5. Moksha, Toby, Salvi, Trugster, and F-Trunk round out your top 10, with Skid Solo disqualified from the results. So that means Jamaican Jam and Sir Ibo will be 11th and 12th respectively. Meldrum, ADS, Tarkangino, Tabran, all failed to finish this race for one last time. But there we go. Well, that is 5 whole seasons of racing between Division 1 and Division 2 all completed. Of course, I'm sad to say that this is, of course, my last commentary for SSRL, I'm afraid, for the near future. So I'm afraid that will wrap it up for me. And of course, one last podium interview to go, and I think we'll just get right to it. So I'll do the champions interview, but Herman, you can then take over for the podium. So
Yep,
first and foremost, congratulations, Pleasant Sake. You are champion of Division 2. That's those final few races. You did not make it easy for yourself, but it came through in the end. Pleasant Sake, how are you feeling?
Oof, I'm feeling a bit like shook now. That was a tough race for me, I must say. Yeah, and I didn't know if I made it or not before you said it now. So yeah, I'm at least I'm glad for that. It was yeah, it's not the best race from my side. And yeah, I was impeded in qualifying, so I lost quite a lot of time on my lap there, and I tried to go for one more, but I didn't have fuel or ERS for the whole lap, so yeah, it was I was a bit and then yeah, not having the best starting position at Australia it's not the easiest task, because first of all, the turn 1 in the start, it's really difficult. It's yeah, it's a lot of it's happened a lot of collisions there earlier, so yeah. And but at least I kind of managed to do a decent race, except I got a drive-through penalty after the in the WSC. I was yeah, I'm not sure, I mistimed when I was going again, and then I think the Delta turned red like just before it restarted. So yeah, that was not perfect, but all in all, well, I had a really good season here now. It's been yeah, really good fighting with all of the other guys. It's been yeah, fun to see a race chase going up here again, or this season. He's been driving really good, and also Quincy driving really good the whole season. Energetic, dragster, yeah, Rolly. It's been a lot of guys this season, so yeah, it's been a fun season.
Just one last question from myself before I move it over to Herman for the rest of the post-race interview. You take the championship by a single point. Of course, it could have been decided earlier if Qatar had gone your way, but of course you finished that race back in 11th place. Was there a little knock in the confidence from that moment on? I mean, of course, barring Abu Dhabi, you absolutely took that race win, but like, you know, last week as well, you weren't even on the podium. So was there a bit of shakiness going into the final few races, because you were just absolutely dominant in the first half of this season?
Oh yeah, it was a bit of like after Qatar, it was I wasn't as confident anymore, and also it was kind of from at the point when it was Qatar. I still had so much other stuff to do in my life at that point, so I didn't really have had any time for doing any proper practice for the most of the races after that. So it's been yeah, for the first half of the season it was a bit more easier and chill for for me. After that it's been really tough, but it's I've had a lot of fun with it. It was more fun when it was tougher, but it was a lot more stressful. So yeah, just happy I got through it.
Snake, congratulations on being champion of Division 2 in Season 7. Herman will take it over from here for the rest of the interviews.
Thank you.
Yeah, also congrats on from my side to Snake, but we're moving to who has actually taken the win tonight, and that was Quincy. You done everything you needed to. That was a very well executed race. You had difficult and very yeah, obviously intense battles with the guys behind. That keeping the DS train alive was somewhat irrelevant, and obviously the safety car was kind of playing a bit of a favor towards the guys now needing to be moved out of Snake's way at the end. So that was obviously not in your control, but I think you managed everything you had to do, and that was very well executed. How do you reflect on your race tonight? Quincy, you muted?
Yeah, Quincy's muted.
Sorry. I had a lot
Yeah.
of fun tonight. I wasn't expect to win, being that this is one of the worst tracks for me this year. It used to be one of my favorite tracks in the previous iterations, F123 and F124. I did quite well here usually. But I don't know, something didn't click with me during the last 2 or 3 races. I always either DNF'd or, you know, didn't really finish high up or got lapped or whatever. So I've never really done well here on this game until today. And I think because it was such a terrible track for me, I didn't put too much pressure on myself. I'd already come in thinking that I was going to lose the championship tonight. So all I had to drive for was basically to try and beat Energetic so I could stay P2. That was my aim tonight. So starting with him along, not too far away from the grid. I think he started like P4 maybe, or P3. I forget.
6 or 7, I think you did.
No. He
because was-
started. I think on the grid when we were on the grid. I think he started just behind me. Possibly. Let me have a look. Yeah, he did. He started P3 on the grid
Okay.
when we lined up. So I was a little bit skeptical as of when and where he would try and shove it down the inside or the outside of me. So I knew I just had to sort of try and get past Struxer as quickly as possible because he chose the hard tires. But yeah, in all, man, I'm just really happy how this season's went. I know exactly which 2 races lost me this championship, but we won't go into that. I'm just really happy for Snake. He's put on the performance of a lifetime in the first 5 races of the season, all podiums, and then 4 straight wins in a row, and all the poles and all the fastest laps as well. So he's really put the work in, and obviously he's tailored off at the end of the season, which I've then come back into form a little bit. But all in all, it was the most exciting battle I feel like I've had in a championship fight.
Yeah, it was obviously very interesting to see how these drivers, especially around you, would also execute, knowing that there's like not only 2 but 3 drivers involved. One obviously interesting point was like this with the safety car and how also the VSC came very early and was like in a way there. Was there always gonna be this one stop in a sense that needing to be in the DS train could obviously damage your tires when you're driving behind someone, especially in the faster parts of the track? Was it any trouble in terms of the tire wear, especially when that safety came out and how long there was left in the race?
No. The optimal lap was lap 12. When the safety car came out, I think it was like lap 10 or something. So the VSC came out a lot earlier, and I knew that I wasn't going to pit because it's only a VSC, and I've done that before where I've pit and I've ended up and I've lost out massively, even with the fresh tire, because you then have to then pit again. You don't gain any advantage from pitting that early on Australia because the tire wear is just as bad as Silverstone. So it was a case of keep out, and the safety car came at a real, I would say, a good time because for the medium runners, because I'm pretty sure we all pit. I was really sad to see Alex go out. I was actually, I was not happy to see Gino go out, but when Gino went out, I thought, okay, brilliant, that's constructors sort of wrapped up. As long as we both keep it on track and I keep in front of Energetic, that's us sort of finished. And then Alex crashed out, and I was in the voice chat with Jam and I was screaming, "No, Alex, no!" So I was really upset at that point of where he crashed out because I was all sorts of things going through my head. So yeah, I'm glad we wrapped that up. I'm really happy we got the constructors at least. So to lose out by 1 point is dramatic. But yeah, back to the question. One stop was always in question. I was never going to pit early because of the tire wear. Most of the laps on the mediums I led, and I noticed that the dirty air was really bad. So I would use my battery to my gain, recover in places that couldn't really be overtaken in, and then just shoot it down on the straights. I seem to have really good straight line speed, even though I was running a little bit higher downforce today. So yeah, truly happy about the result, and I don't actually mind losing, to be honest. So the better man won, you know, and all congratulations to Snake.
Yeah, obviously, congrats again on winning the constructors. Very well done. And sadly, Elias couldn't really make work of that. A very good qualifying was surprisingly good inside of this race tonight. And had I think a moment he called himself a bit too greedy there on the throttle. You have wrapped this one up in the best way possible, with like fighting for what was the most important position, and obviously finishing ahead of Energetic. One note I wanted to make: do you feel like this season compared to last season, when you were also in a fight with Snake, do you feel like if it was switched around and you lost last season by a point and won this maybe by the margin that was won last time, do you feel like you were more in the zone, more focused last season, or did you still improve, but it was somehow, with maybe some of the 2 lost races you were mentioning, still not enough to do it? Like, for how much have you improved? And also, obviously, you going into Division 1 for next season, is that like the right trajectory you had into this season, despite now losing out?
I didn't expect to win this season. I knew for a fact that Snake would come back. I knew that a lot of tracks suited him better from previous experience in racing Snake for a long time, since the 2022 game. So I know which tracks are his favorites, and I know which tracks he does not do as well at. Obviously, wasn't expecting Qatar for him doing that, but I tried to just be consistent. I was locked in from season 6 all the way through season 7. I haven't changed anything. I've done a little bit more practice to try and catch up to Snake, because the wet qualifying really has been something he's been dominating in. I mean, like 8 poles out of 10 races, or is it 12? 8 poles out of 12 races. That's a ridiculous number of pole positions for anyone. I'm not even sure if Andy's managed that feat. Probably has, but so he seemed to dominate in that field. But I always seem to sort of be on the back foot when it comes to Snake this season. But each race that I went into just relaxed and sort of a little bit angry, I seemed to do well at, which obviously was my 2 wins at Imola and Australia. So I think going into Division 1, I'm just going to keep it calm and collected, try and do my best, and try to make as little mistakes as possible. Obviously, Division 1 has helped me massively with Division 2, because it's basically like a trial race, so I won't have that anymore. But I'm still looking
Yep.
forward to it. I'm still looking forward to seeing if I can get up there with the top guys like I did yesterday.
Yeah, obviously that first pole position was a promising sign, and as we are gonna be on the same game with different twists in the tail for what is gonna be season 8. Looking forward to see what you can produce there. Enjoy your holidays, enjoy the as much as you can with prepping the next season, the time with your family, and obviously having a good start to the new year. And congrats again on P1 and the Constructors Championship for tonight.
Thank you, and GG's Race Chase. Great race. Thank you.
And we will be moving on to said Race Chase, who has continued to provide great racing and great fights, with his now 4th podium inside of the season, taking 2 second and 2 third places. Race Chase, you have beaten Moksha in the fight for 4th and had been on the game for most of the race. Here we were obviously trading some positions in between, and then after the late pit stops that were needed for Moksha and obviously Truckster, you were in position to fight that out as well. Did you fancy going for the win, or did you feel like that was maybe too much of a risk with how you maybe saw if there was like a top speed advantage for Quincy and you needed to maybe dump more ES, or you were maybe not feeling that confident on the brakes? But how was the race overall for you, and obviously the last couple of laps where you were very close to him at the end as well?
I had a great race. I think I left a few things on the table there. I knew he had a little bit more top speed than me, and I was kind of considering pushing him in different areas, but I just didn't execute it. I don't know. It's another one gone that I possibly might have had a chance to stand on the top, but it is what it is. And congrats to Pleasant Snake for just having an amazing season. Congrats to Quincy. Thank you, both of you guys, for what you do and the entertainment you provide. And then the rest of the league. I mean, it's just, it's pretty amazing, all the guys in here, to be honest with you. And yeah, it's fun to be here and just race and compete and do well every now and then. And I'm pretty happy with myself.
Yeah, you can obviously accommodate lots of improvement, and obviously, I remember you telling me about how you felt about that maybe a Lost Australia race where I was in a very interesting spot to make somehow zero stop work, and you seem to be on it for most of that race anyway in Australia. So was the maybe one of the better tracks you've gotten out of the wheel spin today?
I've I've definitely done well here before. I've won quite a few races here over the years. Not here, obviously, but in other places. But I don't know. I've always just seemed to do well. The thing that kind of really hurt me is I got 2 warnings during the race. One really early on, and then kind of one mid-range of the race. So those last few laps, I couldn't like hit the corners like I wanted to because I didn't want to get that 3 seconds. So yeah, just some errors, and for me to do well, like possibly win with these guys, I have to execute like flawlessly. I feel just to make up for the little bit of pace I'm lacking against some of these guys. So it's been great. I can't complain. I really can't. And yeah, that's about it, bud.
All right. Obviously, it seems like we will be moving you also to Division One come next season. Anything in particular trying to look forward to? Do you feel like there's a strong suit, obviously, in terms of your consistency, what you've been proving, or maybe like we've certainly raced on some tracks now that won't be there. So, is there maybe the calendar of what is usually the first half of the race more suiting you? Do you even plan anything there? Is that just like go in, try the best, have fun, whatever is your approach there for next season?
Yeah, for next season, I think it's going to be really tough. I'm a competitive person, so I'm always going to compete. But yeah, I've been working on corner exits. I think on this game, it's really important. Kind of getting maybe an early apex done and then straightening the car up is a little bit early. That way you can get on the throttle. I think that has kind of helped me this season. Yeah, it's going to be tough to even finish in the top 5 or 7. I think just the quality of guys in here is amazing, and I'm totally up for the challenge, and I'm totally excited for it. But I have to be realistic about where I'm at and use my tools and see what happens.
Yeah, use your tools has been a very strong suit for you. Congrats again on second place for tonight. Enjoy the holidays, enjoy Christmas, and obviously a good start to the new year. I'll speak to you in 2026, I guess.
All right, thank you, and thank you, Dave, and cheers, boys.
And we will be moving to Rody, who was taking a third place here tonight as a reserve role. Rody, that was some very good fighting for you, and obviously staying on the toes there and making life difficult for Snake, who was still trying to survive that race to make sure he is winning the championship, which he did by 1 point. How was the race for you out there? How was the setup coming along? Did you enjoy yourself out there tonight?
Hello, Herman. It was very nice. I honestly wasn't expecting to be around here because I qualified around 15, I guess. So it was just a surprise to be around the front guys. But, the vet qualifying, I somehow cannot get a time in it. So I wasn't expecting to be around there. But then when after the safety car, I was in a good position. I think I was 6 or 7. And I saw that I had the pace to almost match the guys in front. Of course, Quincy and Race Chase, they were ahead, but I was following the time, so I thought I could possibly catch them if I find the DRS around. After Moksha had to pit, then we lost the chain, so I lost the DRS. I was hoping for something to happen, and I guess Energetic or maybe Pleasant, I'm not sure. Someone spin, and then I found another link. And that helped me to almost get close to Race Chase as well. So I didn't give too much DRS. I just let Snake past me and try to stay within his DRS. But in around last lap, I somehow lost it. So I didn't have any chance to attack him. I was just lucky that he got a 3 seconds. So I have been here to say thank you to and to Dave personally for his last race with us. I found the chance, and I get it. That's pretty much it.
Racing from 15 to 3rd to make that call is very nice. Obviously, you also, in terms of the reserve, take over 100 points, beating most of the drivers behind, so taking a 7th position as well. So very nicely done in Division 2 as well for you. Yeah, obviously, not racing as a full-timer usually you do. What is your overall sentiment? What's going to be happening for you for 26 and for Season 8 with us in SSRL? What is your plan for the future?
I'm not sure because I cannot yet predict which day I'm going to be available. It looks more like Tuesdays. And if it stays like that, I think I will be going on in D2 more than D1. But I just cannot see after January which day is going to be the most available for me. If obviously Snake and Quincy are going to go to D1, then D2 would possibly be a little bit more fun for me because they're just too quick. Quincy somehow found too much pace in the last few months. So hopefully I will be available to race in D2 again. I don't know if it's going to be full-time or reserve, but I'm happy to be reserve. At least I feel like there may be days that I can skip a race, so that helps. But I cannot yet see which day I will be available. But if I become available, I will be surely joining you guys because it's a big fun every time I join racing with you.
Yeah, we take that compliment, but obviously all the other guys out there obviously made it very entertaining and fun for us tonight as well. Congrats again on a P3 to round off the year, and obviously Merry Christmas and yeah, Happy New Year to you as well, and best
Thank
of
you.
luck
Happy
for
New Year to
2026.
Thank you, Herman. Cheers.
Cheers. Yeah, sadly the point has come where I have to say goodbye to one of the best voices I've ever heard in commentary. I'm very much sure that all of the league will miss you, Dave. I'm very sorry to let you go here and obviously let you into a new life with your significant other. Hope and wish you all the best, and enjoyed really that first time when I was hearing you on comms when a very interesting incident happened for me in Singapore when you first joined the commentary booth with Shamrock on that day in Singapore, and now you've been become a staple of this league, but also in a sense of how I, for example, experience F1, and obviously doing the comms with you on Tuesday night. You will be missed. I wish you all the best for the future, and in all regards, thank you very much for what you've have brought to this lead, and obviously I've learned so much from you, and now you do stuff, and enjoyed our interactions outside as well when jumping in your streams as well. So I hope this continues despite you being in another time zone, and yeah, I can only say from the bottom of my heart, thank you very much, and all the best to you. And I think that was a proper send off as you can ask for. But I got the better of you in the predictions game, so something for you to work on in the US of A. So there's something to leave you with. But thank you, and thank you again. So that is now with your final words, if you may, and
Sure.
yeah, that is everything from myself and from SSRL as well. This is your now.
Well, I think before I sign off, I think just, of course, I said my thanks yesterday, but I think it's worth repeating again. Herman, thank you for being such an excellent co-commentator and giving us insights since season 5, which I've been enjoying your commentary as well. And then, of course, we got to, I think, officially work together on season 6 and, of course, this season as well. So, thank you so much for supporting me in the commentary booth. It's been an amazing experience to share it with all of you. And, of course, I said it again, I'll say it again, thank you so much to Quincy. After a payment dispute with another league, he went and took me on after, obviously, that race in Season 2. And it's been amazing to have been part of this league's growth for the past 5 years. I would not be the commentator I am without his feedback from week to week. And Quincy, thank you again for just everything. I owe everything to SSRL. I really, really do, and I am ever so thankful for you lot bringing me on and just being so kind and welcoming and positive of the commentaries that I brought. But anyway, I'll be repeating myself if I continue any further. I'm gonna go and sign off, but all I've got to say is thank you and goodbye.
Goodbye.
And with that, that's it, really, isn't it? There's not really much more we can say after an amazing 2 divisions. That's it. There's not really much more to say, is there? Division 1 champion was Herman, who of course commentates with me, and then of course Division 2 champion Pleasant Snake, new champion in Division 2, but he'll obviously be off to Division 1 for Season 8, as will Quincy, as will Race Chase, as will Energetic, and there is a 5th driver. I think it's Trugster, I'm forgetting in there, but a lot going around my head right now, as you can imagine. But this has been my final commentary for SSRL, and all I've got to say is thank you in all honesty. But yes, just a few questions to answer in chat. Well, just a couple anyway. Am I going to commentate some American leagues? Absolutely, I'm not going to stop doing this. Yes, and then there's another question in there. What's on my forehead? I'm actually not too certain, but anyway, it could be a scar or something. But anyway, not the main focus here. I think that's all. I would. It was one of those races where I don't want to sign off, but I'm afraid I have to. So, from wherever you may be in the world, I do wish you a very good morning, good afternoon, good evening, or good night. Stay safe, stay alive, look after your mental health. SSRL will be back, of course, next season with a new commentator. My friend Luca Centorbi will be taking over the reins from me, and I promise you, he will be an amazing commentator. Will continue to tell the story of this league. I will pass any stories down on to him as well. So, more than capable hands going forward from next season in 2026. Yeah, that's it, isn't it? And from ourselves and the viewers to SSRL, thank you to the owner, the admins, the stewards, and the drivers who work so hard to put on this show every single week for the past 7 seasons, even before my time. And yeah, thank you everyone for watching as well. That's it from me. Don't be sad because it's over. Smile because it happened at all. I hope to see you in the future at some point. But from myself, goodbye.